Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about how to find a perfect sensitivity. Now straight away I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that there is no such thing as a perfect sensitivity. There's just a sensitivity that you're very happy with and that you feel like meshes with your playstyle very well. Now what does that mean, meshes with your playstyle very well? So there's a few things you want to factor in, the first of which is your role, your character. So are you a duelist? If you're a duelist, if you think about it, you're going to be running in, you're turning a lot. So like whenever you run in, are you going to be doing like 360s or 180s a lot? Are you turning 90 degrees quickly? Or are you a sentinel? Are you sitting back more, and are you kind of taking longer range fights? You know, because if you're a sage, if you're a killjoy, typically you're not going to be entering. So you're going to be sitting kind of farther back, and you might need to make more kind of precise movements with your crosshair, right? So think about that, and let's go ahead and jump into this method here. For this technique, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be figuring out if we need to be raising or lowering our sensitivity, and we're just going to keep doing that until basically you found a sensitivity that you're pretty consistent with and you feel like really kind of fits your playstyle. And I talked about your playstyle or maybe other factors you might want to consider. One more factor you might want to consider is how long is your arm and how big is your mouse pad, right? And those are things you might want to consider. So first off, let's go ahead and get started. You're gonna want to shoot quick practice, and let's. So basically, you're gonna want to line yourself up with this line here, and stand up as close as you can. And now we're just gonna pick a bot, and we're gonna try to flick to it from this distance. So flick, you see I'm pretty close on. Try to do one movement. Don't try to like slowly do it. Try to do just one quick movement. So you see an overflick there, overflick, on, underflick, overflick, roughly on, underflick, on, underflick, underflick, overflick, overflick, on. Okay, so basically the point here, what we're trying to do now, flicking to the right for you is going to be a little bit different than flicking to the left, and you might realize you have more weaknesses on the left than you do on the right. And this is of course a separate problem, but this can help you kind of diagnose some of your weaknesses, and then by being aware or conscious of your weaknesses, it's really going to help you long term. And so here, so far you see overflick, overflick. I've done this a few times and I've been overflicking consistently. So what this might mean to me is I should lower my sensitivity. But let's test the left side first. So let's go flick right here. It's about the same distance as here to here, here to here, about maybe a little bit shorter. But just line yourself up with the line and flick. One quick movement. So overflick, underflick, on, underflick, overflick, underflick, underflick, overflick, overflick, underflick. Take your time too. I think I'm trying to go too fast here. Overflick, underflick, overflick, on. Okay, so it seems a little bit more equal there. On the right side, it seems like I'm trying to overflick too much. There's an overflick, on, overflick, overflick. So I think lowering my sensitivity after trying this myself might be good. So again, I'm not a big fan of whenever people are like, yo, should I change my sense a lot? Yo, I've been changing my sense. I've been trying to find my perfect sense for 3 years now. Like, you're not going to find your perfect sense, okay? This video is titled that, but it's not really perfect. Nothing is perfect, okay? So stop trying to find something that's perfect and settle for something that's really good. Like, try to find a sense that really works, meshes well with your playstyle, the other factors I listed, and even other factors I haven't listed. And that's what you want to stick with. Now, other ways that we can practice this is we can come up on this line, and then we can practice flicking, like, 90 degrees. We can practice flicking on, because whenever you're closer to enemies, it's going to feel and be a little bit different. For example, this is a bit easier for me to flick to than initially. So that's the underflick. That's on, a little bit under, a little bit over, under, over, on, a little bit under, on. So this is easier for me, clearly, right? And so, and then we want to try to the left again. Just see like how we're doing this. And then another thing we can try here is come over to an elevation, because again, every time that we do something in Valorant, it's never always on one level, right? We're always on varying heights. Now the unfortunate problem with this is that these guys are rather far away, so it's going to be hard to actually hit flicks onto them. But we can still kind of see, like, does our sense work up here? Are we really... You can just flick from one bot to the other and see like how close you are each time. Are you overflicking consistently? And yeah, so basically what you're going, the whole process is what I'm just showing you. You're just flicking and you're gonna lower, and then perhaps don't just continue doing this. After you change your sense once, go into deathmatch, play deathmatch, like play even like 5 deathmatches. You need to give your brain time to adjust. You need to give your arm time to adjust to your hand, your fingers, your forearm, all that stuff. You need to give that time to actually adjust the sensitivity. Because if I just went down like 3 ticks here and then I was like, oh, now I'm under flicking, so I should go back up like 4 ticks. Like, no, right? You need to give yourself time and don't change too much. Change max, like, wait, no. Change max like this much. No, not that much. You can change like 1 tick. Basically, go down to like a 10th. Don't go down a 10th, go down a 100th each time. And then from there, it'll make it a lot easier. I even go down less than that. I go down 1,000th, not even 100th, right? So if you're at 0.7, for example, go down to like 0.6, or even 0.65 instead of going down a full, you know, don't go down a lot, basically, is my tip here. So hopefully this video is useful. Let me know if you have any questions about this. It'll help you kind of figure out sensitivity. It's a little bit better for you, because I have noticed in the recent games I've played that my aim is a little bit off, and I think this might be part of the problem. But again, there's no such thing as perfect sensitivity. Just, you're gonna find something that's really good for you and not perfect. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.